It started as a protest against plans to put a shopping mall and homes in a park in Istanbul, but it is rapidly turning into a battle for Turkey's political soul. Turkish police fired tear gas and water cannon as thousands of protesters flooded the streets for the second day running. Our international editor Lindsay Hilsom joins us live now from Istanbul. Lindsay.
Sarah, it's peaceful where I am now, but just a couple of miles up the road, people are gathering around Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan's office, and I'm told that there has been tear gas used there. In the main square, there's a peaceful scene now. The police are no longer there, but there are many people out. The best slogan I've heard so far is, "We can't keep calm, we're Turkish." But there have also been other scenes in other parts of the country. In Ankara, there has been violence, tear gas and water cannon used. But I think it's very important to know that this is Taksim Square, it's not Tahrir Square. It's not like Egypt, where people are trying to overthrow a dictatorial regime. Turkey is a democracy, but what the people are saying is that their government is behaving in an authoritarian manner, and they are out there trying to defend their democratic rights. Politically stable, increasingly prosperous Turkey hasn't seen protests like this for years. Maybe that's why the police overreacted. It started as a demonstration against plans for a shopping mall in Gezi Park, one of Istanbul's last green spaces. But it's turned into something bigger. They're chanting, "Be gone, this nation is ours." Secular urban Turks are resentful of Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan's increasingly Islamic and, they say, authoritarian government. At least 12 people were hospitalized yesterday, including tourists, and hundreds suffered from respiratory problems because of the tear gas. Running battles continued through the night. Violence spread beyond Taksim Square and Gezi Park as protesters lobbed tear gas grenades back and police used force to subdue the protesters. Some 60 people were arrested. This morning, a huge crowd marched along the Bosporus Bridge from the Asian part of the city towards Taksim Square on the European side. But they too were met with water cannon and tear gas. Then this afternoon, the police suddenly withdrew from the square. Even Prime Minister Erdogan, while still blaming the protesters, implied that the security forces had gone too far.
Despite provocations by illegal organisations, despite the damage done to local shops, despite attacks with stones and petrol bombs, the police continues to operate with the authority it was given. But necessary steps will be taken if excessive force is used.
A few hours ago, protesters returned to the square. This crowd doesn't represent the mainly rural religious Turks who voted in Mr. Erdogan 3 times. But the unrest has weakened his government, and the protesters now have to decide if that is victory enough. There are a number of issues that the protesters are angry about. Most of them are secular. Just a few days ago, Prime Minister Erdogan introduced limits on the sale of alcohol, and that has angered people. They feel that that was an Islamic agenda that he just brought in. Many people here are also unhappy about his support for the rebels in Syria, which they feel is dragging Turkey into that conflict. So these are real issues that he has to deal with. But the opposition is very weak and divided. This is a protest which is led by young people, it's led by the social media. So it's not at all clear what is going to happen with it, whether it's something which is going to bring down the government and lead to new elections, or whether it's people just expressing their voices and then it'll die away.
Lindsay in Istanbul, thanks very much for that tonight.